amazing artists. Today we are going to create a pop-up card for Dad for Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up in just a few weeks, so I want to give you some options of things you can make for Dad. If you were in 3rd grade this last year, or if were in 4th or 5th grade this last year, you have created a pop-up card in art class. If you were in kindergarten, 1st or 2nd grade this year, you haven't, so this is going to be a little bit new to you. I'm going to show you a couple different examples of things that you could make in your pop-up card for Dad. But yours should be different than mine. It should be about your dad, what your dad likes to do, a picture your dad would like. So you don't need to draw exactly what I draw. What's important about this is how to make the pop-up. You need either a colored piece of construction paper as your background or a thick white piece of paper. Make sure that it's a thick piece of paper. If it's a really thin sheet of copy paper, it's not going to work quite as well. It won't really stand up and pop out the way you want it to. So you're going to take your paper and fold it in half, hamburger style. It's okay if your fold's not perfect. Then you're going to unfold it. I'm going to do that to my white paper. I'm going to do that to my blue paper, but you only need one piece of paper for the background for your card. Now you need to decide what your picture is going to be about. This first one I'm going to do on my blue paper is going to be a card for a dad who likes to go fishing. So before I make anything pop out, I want to make the background to my card. So notice I turn my paper so that it is tall instead of wide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about how when my card pops out, this is my background and this is kind of like the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my picture of all the stuff around what's going to pop out. I am not going to draw what's popping out. To save some time, I drew what's going to be popping out. I used a separate piece of paper. So you need a separate piece of white paper to draw what is going to pop out. I drew a little picture of a dad fishing. So this one is going to be all about for a dad that likes to fish. I'm going to set that aside for now. Now I'm going to make the background. If I'm going to make a background for my dad fishing, I'm probably going to want to make it on the water. So I'm going to use markers or crayons. With darker paper, crayons work best. And I'm going to just draw the background and any message that I want to Dad. So I'm going to draw some waves. I'm also going to draw a fish in there because I drew my boat and my fishing pole, but I didn't draw the fish. So I think I'm going to use a green crayon. That's better. I'm going to draw my fish. It's the fish my dad's going to catch. I'm also going to draw the hook, but not till later. Okay, I'm also going to draw the background behind my dad's boat. Maybe he's fishing on a lake. Maybe there's some land in the background. It's kind of up to you. I think I'm going to add a few more waves, so it's a little bit different from my background. I'm going to use this top part for my message to my dad. But before I do that, I'm going to do the important step of how to pop something out. So I folded my paper. I drew my background, leaving room for my message to Dad because it is a card. I drew what's going to pop out. I always find that if I draw what's going to pop out first, it's easier for me to design my background. Now I'm going to do the important part that is going to make it so I can pop out. I need my scissors, and I'm going to fold my card back up. On the fold line, so if you see where it comes apart, this is the mouth edge, remember? You don't want to cut the mouth edge. You want to cut the fold edge, very important. So I'm going to cut 2 little lines for where my little boat is going to pop out. 2 lines next to each other. So I'm going to cut, see, it's maybe 1/3 of the way through my paper. I'm cutting through both pieces of paper because I'm cutting on my fold edge. All right. Now I'm going to open it back up, and I have this little tab. My tab is what I'm going to connect my pop out to. Before I connect my pop out, I'm going to pull out that little tab and fold it down, press it down so that it really pops out well. And I've got this little spot that's going to pop out. Now, I can either write my message to Dad, or I could glue this on here once I cut it out. I'm going to write my message to Dad first so that it's easier to push this back down. So using a pencil first, always, always, I'm going to write Dad a message. If I want to make block letters, I like to write it really light first, with some space between, but you can just write it regular too. If I want to make those block letters, I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to go around all my letter lines. So I'm going around my lines for my H, I'm going to go around my lines for my A. My letters might overlap. Now that I've gone around all of my letters, I'm going to erase those first lines that I made. Those middle lines inside, really carefully erase. Remember that you do not have to make block letters. This is just one option. Add my middle of my A back in. Okay, I have my message to Dad. I could fill this in and add color. I'm gonna write who it's from. I also like to always write the year, so if Dad keeps this, he knows what year you gave it to him. Now I'm going to fill in my letters. Now my letters are all filled in, and I am ready to get my pop out on there. So I'm going to need a glue stick and I'm going to need scissors. So I'm going to cut around my pop out. I want to make sure not to cut through there, so I'm going to leave a little white on each side because I don't want to cut apart the drawing that I made. Now I want to glue my Dad fishing to the pop out. So I don't want to glue it up here, and I don't want to glue it down there. I want to glue it to the part that's standing up straight, right there. I might need to trim this a little bit. I'm going to trim off just just a teensy bit because that's a little bit longer than my boat. Perfect, because I want it to be able to fold over when it pops up. Okay, I need my glue stick or a regular bottle glue. I have regular bottle glue right here, so that's what I'm going to use, but I think that the glue stick usually works better. I'm going to flip over and glue just kind of in the middle. Put glue on both sides. And I'm going to glue it while I hold it from the back. For my younger artists, you might want mom to help you with this part so that you get it glued on in the spot that you want. For my older artists, you have done this in the art classroom, and you could help a younger sibling if you'd like. I'm going to hold it there and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, my card is done. The mistake, oh, I almost forgot. I forgot to add my fishing line coming down to my fish and a little fish hook. Maybe a little worm on there too. What you don't want to do once you're finished, you don't want to fold it over like that and press it there and leave it. Because what's going to happen, your glue's not dry and it might stick. So you want to make sure to let it dry. Then you can decorate the front in any way that you'd like. You could fold it over like that, or you can just keep it as a card that pops out like that. If you want to get really fancy, you could take another piece of paper and glue it to the outside. And then you have a nice blank spot to write Dad a message or decorate that part. Remember, this is just one way that we can make a pop-up card. The important part is how you cut out that pop-out and making sure to take another piece of paper, draw your pop-out on that, and glue it back on. You don't want to draw something and then try to make it pop out because you'll end up cutting it in half, and that doesn't really work very well. So yours doesn't need to be a dad fishing. Maybe your dad really loves to read and you'd like to make a book pop out. Or maybe your dad really likes to go to the beach. Think about or maybe he likes to golf. Think about what your dad likes. So I'm going to show you just that step to make it pop out once more. I have my paper, I fold it, and I cut 2 lines from the fold edge like that. I open it back up and I fold it over. That's how you make any card a pop-out card. Now I can glue something else on there that I drew on another piece of paper. I hope you enjoy making your dad a pop-up card for Father's Day. Remember, if you make anything for Dad for Father's Day, even though we are not in school anymore, I still check my email every day, and I would like nothing more to open my email to a bunch of beautiful artwork from you. So have Mom help email me your artwork. Have a wonderful day, friends.